Hi, my name is France Knox, and today I will be discussing information about my results. First, I would like to talk a little bit about who may benefit from understanding the results of the study. My particular research study is the perception of staff in regards to the virtual setting for the behavioral intervention check-in, check-out. The behavioral intervention check-in, check-out is typically conducted in person, and so the researcher or myself would like to know if the virtual setting would be appropriate as opposed to the in-person setting. And so, who may benefit, or given that information, let's think about who may benefit from understanding the results of that particular study. That would include behavioral support teams who are providing those behavioral interventions, who are giving suggestions and recommendations to school staff on appropriate interventions for specific students. It may benefit also school teams who are designing interventions for the school building. It's appropriate or it's important to know what settings are appropriate for different interventions and what have been deemed or understood as successful by the staff implementing the intervention. It's also important or may benefit the staff who's actually providing the intervention. It may benefit for them to understand the results of the study so that they can know or understand if the virtual setting is an appropriate setting for check-in, check-out. Discipline teams who are creating those interventions and providing that behavioral support to the school may also benefit from understanding the results of the study. Administrators may benefit from understanding the results of the study because they need to know what interventions are accessible in their building and also the particular settings needed for those particular interventions. Lastly, support or itinerant staff may benefit from understanding the results of the study. As a school psychologist, I'm identified as itinerant staff, and currently I'm not able to support or provide as much support in terms of servicing with behavioral interventions because I just am not located in one particular building. I'm spread across two buildings. And so it would be beneficial for me to be able to conduct that particular intervention virtually if possible, if appropriate. So I would love to understand and know um, if the virtual setting is an appropriate setting for that particular for check-in, check-out. Where would it be appropriate to share the results of my research study? Well, giving no or knowing the background information on what the research study is about, it would be appropriate to share that or those results in professional development meetings, in particular in professional development meetings that may occur at the district level. In my district, we utilize the lead or admins and school social workers, counselors, and school psychologists. We have these meetings called lead meetings where these team members from each school meet and they are given professional development or further training on appropriate ways to intervene, appropriate suggestions on how to support their schools. And so it would definitely be appropriate to present the results of my study at uh, possibly those district level type of meetings. Also, particular schools have their own behavior team meetings, and so it would be also appropriate to share the results of my research study with those behavioral teams. Lastly, it would be, or not lastly, but also it would be important or beneficial to share the results of the study with the school administrative staff. Maybe, like I said, during the professional development, the admin staff have to or are required to complete several professional development trainings throughout the year. And so this could be recommended as a part of the behavioral training portion of professional development. In terms of staff meetings, my information or results of the research study could be shared at staff meetings for those companies who contract out to schools and provide behavioral supports. So the information or research results can be shared there. And it can also be shared in any educational setting that looks to provide mentor support. Check in, check out is similar to just a mentorship program. And so many colleges may be looking at providing that type of support to their, first time students, freshmen, and so maybe sharing the results of um, the appropriate type of setting would be beneficial or appropriate to share in that setting. Where and with whom would you share the results? Again, it is appropriate to share the results of my research study with school district, in particular with those behavioral teams within the school districts, if there are available teams or departments. Also, it would be important to share this information, like I said, with administrative staff so they know what interventions are available and what settings would be appropriate for those interventions. The behavior leads in those particular schools or maybe within the department, and then companies providing behavioral support. Some peer review journals that I would submit my research findings to would include the Journal of Positive Behavior Interventions. That particular peer review journal or academic journal is one that publishes papers in the field of education. And my research study is directly correlated or related to interventions or educational interventions, more so focused on the behavior side of things. Another peer review journal that I would like to share the results of my research study would be Preventing School Failure. That's another peer-reviewed academic journal for administrators, educators, mental health workers. It's important to share what behavioral interventions would be most appropriate for students who are struggling with behavior and at risk for failure. So I think that my results would correlate directly with this particular journal. Next, another peer-reviewed journal that would be appropriate to share the results would include the Behavior Research and Theory Journal. And basically, check and check out is a behavioral intervention. And so it would be important to share all results or all information related to any behavioral interventions in appropriate settings with that particular journal. Thank you for your time. I appreciate everything in terms of listening to my video, bearing through maybe those background noises that you've heard. I hope this information is helpful, and I hope I'm able to actually share these results to the journals and to staff across my district and other districts possibly. Thank you and have a great day.